last year he did play center mid because I think technically like Jorginho was the pivot role, but I think he can play either with France.
Pivot. Welcome to episode 133 of the Bros Talking Soccer podcast, a podcast where three brothers talk about what's happening in American and European soccer. My name is Dave Knittel, the eldest Knittel brother. I'm here with Christian and Matt, middle Knittel and little Knittel. Christian, hello, how are you doing today?
Hello, David. I'm doing great. I was just at the Union game with you, and the Union won on a pretty late goal from Jack Elliott in very extraordinary circumstances. Where the ball kicked off his face, hit the bar, and then fell back to him. So that was fun. But, you know, I was at the Shore from Monday until this morning. Had a Unity Cup game as well, which we won 4-1. So, all in all, can't be too bad.
Yeah, absolutely. You've spent a lot of time inside. You certainly haven't gotten any sun. You
Definitely
don't look sunburned in any way or smile.
I just look tan as shit. Look at this bronze.
Yes, you look very bronzed on film. In real life, you look a little sunburned.
Nah,
but
I don't really think so.
That's okay. Matthew, hello. How are you doing? How's that Manchester United jersey?
I'm doing great, Dave. I am not wearing a Manchester United jersey. I saw in the comments as we're doing this live, Matt complimented me on my hair. So I'm feeling great right now. Just, confidence is booming. I don't know how to respond in the comments. I don't think I have that power, do I? Or can you only comment?
No, so you can comment on YouTube, Matt, if you would like, and I can flash these up here. So yeah, I am showing them. Matt is joining us live on YouTube. So hello, Matt. And so I'm displaying them here on YouTube. But I'm happy to hear your confidence is through the roof. Guys, I'm doing swell. I'm a little bit out of sorts because I was at a wedding last night. Had a fantastic time. One of my best friends got married, but mentally, I'm still in that fog of not really drinking a lot, but dancing and drinking all night. Not really drinking a lot, on a consistent basis, and then drinking a hell of a lot last night. So I'm in that weird sort of fog, Christian, you know that game?
I drank for the last 7 days.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to do our best here. Forgot to mention this. We're a part of the Big Heads Media Network. Go to Big Heads Media for tons of podcasting content. Also, don't make sure, but if you want to buy us a shot, we have that new program where you can buy us a shot by going to brostalkingsoccer.com and supporting the show. Christian, do you have our trivia question today?
Dave, I do have the trivia question.
You're
today.
Certainly not messing around.
I know. Well, it just gets stuck with the condensation. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay.
So the trivia question today is going to... I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means either. We're getting comments from Matt on YouTube, and so we're not sure what this means, but we appreciate it. I'm going to take it as a compliment, and we're just going to move on. Christian,
the trivia question is going to be: can you name how many? All right, how many?
Continue.
How many clean sheets Arsenal had on the road last season?
Okay. Oh yeah, I can.
Okay, good. All right. So I'm going to let everybody think on that for a second. And now, Matt, why don't you take it away with Matt's Megs?
Thank you, Christian, for the incredible dramatic pause to let everyone think about that question. Welcome, everyone, to Matt's Megs, where we will talk about Liverpool and Manchester City, who both kicked off their Premier League campaigns last weekend. A little bit of eventfulness in both the games. I'd say the Man City game a little bit more. Well, the Liverpool game was just exciting, I would say, especially just when you're starting a season and you put 4 goals in. Was it 4 at halftime?
Yeah.
So that wasn't fun to watch for me. Where I was like, oh wow, they might be better than us now. But we'll start with talking about that game because I think both of you did watch it, or did you not?
I did not.
Okay. Well, we'll still talk about it. So, Christian, I just want to get your thoughts. How did you think Liverpool played? I had to turn it off at halftime. I was a little bit angry at 4-0. And I was like, I don't think I can watch this anymore. So I turned that off. But how did you think they played?
Well, I thought they played pretty well. In all honesty, Norwich had a couple of moments early on in the game where they looked a little bit threatening and Liverpool looked out of sorts defensively. But going forward, they really didn't skip a beat. I think when you throw Mane in there instead of Origi, it makes a huge difference to the team, but still, even with Origi on the field, it's a different component. Like, he makes those direct runs forward, and he's a threat in the air, which you saw with Trent Alexander-Arnold's ball that was played in, and he scored that header. So Liverpool, you can see that even though they didn't make a lot of signings, they do have a bunch of players coming back, and they have that depth to bring off the bench, which they really didn't seem to have a lot of last year. And with Ox, Keita, Shaqiri, all these players coming back, Lallana, it really just adds to their depth and makes them a unique threat that City, I think, obviously are the best team right now and have the depth. But Liverpool finally are putting that bench together, which is the missing piece, in my opinion.
All right. Dave, I assume you watched the highlights. What did you make?
So, no, I actually didn't watch the highlights. I did get to see the second half. I was picking up my wife in the first half. So I got to see the second half, probably the last 30 minutes of the game or so. Obviously, at that point, the game was very much in hand, but there were some slightly concerning signs from a defensive perspective from Liverpool. I think Norwich had a couple instances where they got in behind. Obviously, they scored their goal while I was watching, and that wasn't great to see. But Mane looked good off the bench. He looked sharp. I wasn't sure how he was going to be coming back after playing for 11 months straight.
Straight months.
13. Yeah. So, and he got like a week or two off. But, I mean, he looked really sharp coming in off the bench. I guess they looked really good in the first half. The second half, I think they had a couple chances, but it wasn't dominating. And it's really tough to read into it when you're already up 4-0 or in that case 4-1. So, overall, I'm excited that they came out. They didn't struggle early on and then kick on in the second half, which I felt like they did a lot last year, where it was 0-0 or 1-1 in the first half, and then the second half is where they where they started to separate. Now they came out and they started strong, so I'm happy about that, Matt.
Yeah, it seemed more like what City did last year.
Yeah,
they just put the game away early and then kind of just relaxed in the second half and still controlled the game, but just weren't bombarding forward.
Yeah,
Liverpool were chasing a lot of games last season.
Yep.
Yeah, well, you guys both touched on like the one concern I did have defensively, where I think we all thought Liverpool would be very solid. They probably had three of the best, like both their outside backs and their center back are probably the best at their positions in the league. But they looked a little off, I would say, and it was pretty concerning. And Norwich blew me away with how they played. They didn't sit back like a lot of teams would do against a Liverpool or a Man City. They were extremely attacking, which was good to see. They got in behind Liverpool so many times in the first half, so that was cool. A lot of respect for that. I didn't do any research.
That was cool.
That was cool. A lot of respect for that.
Yeah. So, I didn't do like much research on them going into the season, so I think I had them going down, but offensively they were so much better than I could have ever expected. So that was just good to see. Do you guys make anything of that or no?
Pat them on the head. No, I mean, Liverpool, I have the same concerns that I had. We talked about in the preseason. Defensively, while they have been very stout, I felt like a lot of times Van Dijk either made, last-ditch tackles last year, or they were able to get carved open on a handful of times, and whether it was Alisson coming to the rescue or Van Dijk, I mean, that's something that they've done over the last year and a half. And so it is what it is. It's something that I think that they're going to have to continue living with. And it's just, I hope that Gomez can rise to the occasion. I hope that Adrian, right? Is that his name?
Adrian.
Yeah, Adrian, the backup goalkeeper, can rise to the occasion with Alisson being out. But it is a slightly concerning sign. I don't know if it was, anyone in the Premier League outside of, I don't know, maybe a handful of teams is going to have talented attackers. And I think that they're going to have chances when they play against Liverpool. And it's just going to be Liverpool is banking on them scoring more than conceding.
Well, fair enough. Another thing that you mentioned that I was going to address is Alisson out for 4 to 8 weeks, if I'm correct. So do you guys think that's a problem at all, or no?
No, I don't really think that's a problem. I mean, it's not ideal, but I think Liverpool's start to the season really isn't as difficult as a lot of other teams are. And hopefully he'll be back before a lot of those high-profile games start flowing really quickly in like October and November. So I think it is a big deal because he is a big part of their team. He makes incredible saves and he's very composed on his feet. But I think Adrian is also very good with his feet and makes a big difference to the team. Just having his experience, he's been in the Premier League for a long time. And although he hasn't been at a top name club yet, he does have that ability to be able to make saves when he's called upon. Luckily for him, I think the defense is probably the best in the league right now. And even though they weren't great in this first game, I think they still are getting used to Joe Gomez being back in the lineup. I think Matip and Van Dijk really formed a strong partnership at the end of the year. And even though they started last year brilliantly, Gomez and Van Dijk, I think they're going to take a little bit of time getting used to each other. And Fabinho obviously is a key part of it.
Yeah, and he was fantastic. The one thing I do want to say is that Liverpool certainly has the talent. It's more club system and the way that he likes to play that creates, these 1v1 situations. Exactly, where they have the talent, and if they wanted to line up in a very defensive formation and not really concede chances, I think that they absolutely could do that. It's just that that's not the way that they like to play, and that's why Van Dijk has to be in these one-on-one situations. Alisson or Adrian, are going to be pushed into these situations. And so, again, it's not anything really on their talent. It's more just predicated on the way that the system is set up by club.
Yeah. And for me, I still think Liverpool is going to be fine without Alisson. He's a very good goalie, but I don't think that's why they necessarily win games. Anything else you guys want to add? All right. Nope. Sticking with injuries, so Man City, Leroy Sane, I don't think we addressed this last week because I don't think it broke yet. He is out with a torn ACL. They said about 7 months he's going to be out, and it's interesting for a lot of reasons because of just the transfer and where he's at in his career. Man City almost brought in $150 million, which is what they were asking for him, and he's kind of stuck here. And it's weird when a player asks to leave and is forced to stay, or not asked to leave, but knows they're on their way out and then is forced to stay, and a whole nother year with not playing. So I'm just going to see how he bounces back from that. Dave, or I think Dave, I'll start with you. What do you make of Man City? How do you think they're going to do this year without him? And what do you think Sane is going to do going forward?
Well, I think Man City will be okay without him. He's a huge loss, but they have depth. Mahrez can step right in and fill in, or Bernardo Silva, who didn't even play this weekend. Was he hurt, or he was just...
No, he was just on the bench.
Yeah, he just wasn't chosen. So, it's ridiculous that a player of that quality, who I think we all said was top 2 or 3 player of the year candidate last year, he can't even get on the field. So I think Man City will be okay as long as they don't have 2 or 3 other injuries to key wingers. So I think they'll be okay. From a Sane perspective, I think it's tough. He missed out on going to the World Cup with Germany. He's had his issues with, I don't know, at least from the media perspective on, whether it's Pep or just not getting as much time as what he would like. To have another kind of setback here where he was, whether he really wanted to go to Bayern or not, it was a situation that, he's German. It very likely could have meant more playing time, could have gone to a Champions, and could have been like the key player for Bayern side. It's going to be interesting mentally how he responds to all of that. And, I certainly hope that he handles it in stride and bounces back from it, but I don't know what's going to happen. Based on how he bounced back from getting cut from the Germany squad, I'd say he's going to do well in this situation, but you don't really know how a player is going to react to a major setback, especially a young player.
Yeah. Christian.
I was talking to a couple of people this week about how when this type of injury was happening to Fernando Torres, he was the best striker in the world at the time. And players who have that pace and really are direct, this can be really hard to recover from just because of the way that they play and their shiftiness. And I hope that's not what we see with Sane, because he is really fun to watch and he's a great, great player. I don't think that this is going to hinder City as much as Sane specifically, because he really is in that developmental stage right now. And it's just unfortunate to see this, because he's probably their best winger up there, probably with Sterling at this moment. But I think Sane probably is the most talented winger on that team. They have the depth to cover on City. Sane really has that potential to reach almost Ballon d'Or level ability if he gets a run of games and starts to really develop his final product. So it's a real shame that it's happened at this time.
Yeah, I think City's going to be fine. I was really just hoping to get that money and pursue a Neymar or something like that, and I just thought that would be really good for the club. Finally, somebody that he'd be the biggest signing that our club's ever had.
You want Neymar over Sane?
No. But if Sane was leaving, yes, I would. And I think Neymar is better than Sane.
You'd rather that than Mbappe?
Well, you're not going to get Mbappe.
Yeah, Mbappe is the non-starter. But that's just an interesting point. So say Sane, because he still has room to grow, right? He's 23, I believe, maybe 24. I mean, obviously the injury is going to be a setback, but say that didn't happen. Who would you have preferred? Neymar at 27 or so, who's a slightly better all-around player, or Sane with his room to grow?
I'd still probably say Neymar. He could be a Ballon d'Or winner next year. He's ready now. And I think just what he means and like the fans he would bring to a club. Obviously, he's not as big as Ronaldo or as good as Ronaldo, but just like his fandom and what he brings to a club is just it would just blow up our team and just bring more money in. So that's the only reason I really wanted it. But for Sane, I think he's going to bounce back. Yeah, and I just don't see him necessarily with all the talent he has and how many setbacks he's had in his career so far with getting benched or not really playing or not making a German team. He's always been fine. I think the media has always made it a little bit bigger of a deal for some of the stuff than it actually was. So I think he'll be fine. Anything you guys want to add on this?
Nope.
Moving on. So now we're going to talk about the great VAR system that was brought into effect in the Man City game. I didn't watch the second half of Liverpool. Did it get used at all?
I don't think so.
I think they were reviewing. Oh, no. It was at halftime. They had like a huge delay. It took over like 6 or 7 minutes after everyone was out and they were ready to start. Something was wrong with like the headset connecting to VAR, and they could not start the game until they got that figured out. So it was, it was just not a good look for week one.
And for VAR in the Man City game, which they won 5-0, pretty much rolled over West Ham in London Stadium. But the more eventful thing was the decision, 7-minute delay for VAR. Yeah. But the craziest thing was the second goal that Gabriel Jesus scored. There was a ball cleared over the top to Sterling. Wasn't called offsides during the time. And they showed the replays. And it was probably the closest you could possibly be on an offsides call. I thought he was onside. They said the line was over, but it was his shoulder. Or it was shoulder, arm, whatever, a little bit ahead. Dave, what do you think?
So he was offside then.
I don't think he was offside.
So
you just said head.
Here's the thing.
No, I said
you know where I stand. Yeah.
Did I say head?
Yeah.
Yeah, you said.
I think I said a head.
You said a little bit ahead. Oh, maybe you meant his shoulder was a little bit in front of.
Yeah.
Ahead. Okay. Ahead, I thought you meant like his head.
Oh, well, yeah. You said shoulder, arm, ahead,
knees, and toes.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, everybody knows. Maybe not everybody. If this is your first time listening, hello, welcome to Bros Talking Soccer. But if you've been a listener of this podcast, specifically throughout the Women's World Cup, know that for me, I want VAR to be used for clear and obvious errors. With offside plays, it's not clear and obvious because when the camera operator or replay official decides when to stop, can have a serious impact on when a player is considered offside or not. And it's not exact science. People want to say that whenever the replay official pauses it, they can draw their lines and do all of their geometry and all of that stuff to determine angles and things like that. But it's not 100% clear cut every single time if it is offside or not. And so what I want VAR to be used for is if it's clear and obvious, if the person is a yard offside or things like that. But when it's super, super tight, like it sounds like it was here, again, I didn't see exactly what happened. I just want whatever call that was on the field to stand. That's all that I'm looking for. So if the sideline official, whatever the hell they're called, assistant referee, considered him to be onside during the run of play, then it should have stood. If he ruled him offside and then they let the play out and they scored and then he raised his flag or something like that, then it should have come back. So that's where I stand on all of this.
All right. Christian?
Yeah, I agree. I think that the number one thing that we should be looking for right now is is it clear and obvious? And that is in the rules for VAR. And I don't think this one really was. It's the fact that we're still talking about the controversy of it shows that it was too close of a call to overturn the ruling on the field. And I think you probably could have called it either way. He may have been slightly offside. In my opinion, I was watching it. It didn't really look like he was. So I don't understand why that was overturned. And I think that they have to really take a look at what VAR is being used for going forward.
Yeah, and I didn't they left the image up at the stadium. None of the West Ham players were arguing for it. Like, you could see, like, they have the image up, and afterwards, like, the City players went crazy, but yeah, like, it didn't seem like any of the West Ham players.
I'm surprised they're showing those images on the big screens at the stadiums.
I know
they don't do that here.
Yeah, I know that they made it a point they wanted to involve the in-stadium crowd more in VAR. I didn't think that they were going to be showing images. I thought that they were going to be just communicating when there was VAR decisions and what the ruling was. I didn't expect them to be showing the images, and so I think that is a bold strategy from them, and we'll see how it all plays out.
Yeah, and there were two other big VAR plays that happened in this game. Sterling's second goal, where, to me, he was offsides, and they VAR checked it, and they said he was on. In the video, the freeze frame, he was running so fast, he blurred out, and you couldn't even see half his body in the freeze frame. And I'm pretty sure they made the line about half a yard in front of it and just completely ignored it. So yeah, I was kind of blown away that they overturned the first one and then not the second one, and then the penalty kick, where Fabianski stepped over the line, or he didn't have both feet on, maybe an inch off, and they made him retake the penalty that was saved, and he eventually made the next one. But what do you guys think about the penalty having 2 feet on the line?
Well, I think that from what I saw, I thought they overturned it because Declan Rice was encroaching in the area. I thought that's what they originally were saying.
Because you have to have at least 1 foot on the line, and his foot was like an inch or two off the line. So then they had to overturn it. And it wasn't Declan Rice.
It seemed like because Declan Rice was talking to him, and he was showing, and then on the replay that they showed, they did show that someone was encroaching in the box. So I guess that was my confusion there. Yeah, I mean, again, if it's that close of a call, it probably should just stand. But I guess it is there to be a rule. They have the goal line technology now that they can see someone's foot on the line. And that is part of taking a penalty, that the goalie has to have, it's just 1 foot on the line now, right?
Yeah.
Or above the line, just in line with.
On the line.
On the line. So if it's going to be that close, it should not be overturned. If it's not clear and obvious, this one probably was. If it's a goalkeeper's foot, but I thought it was too close, and they should not be overturning penalties for incidents like that.
Yeah, Dave, did you see it at all? Or
no, I didn't see this one. I did see the Sterling goal. I happened to be watching live for that little bit, and I was surprised that I thought that it was offside, and then when they overturned it and said that it was a goal, I was a little bit confused at that one. But, I've said what I want to say here. I want it to be clear and obvious, and it's not being that.
It just got off to
an say no more.
Yeah. VAR just got off to an eventful start, so just wanted to address it. Anything else you guys want to add?
No,
Nah, I'm good.
All right, that's going to wrap up Matt's Megs. Thanks for listening. Listen to a little bit of music. We'll be right back.
If you're heading to any stadium in the US or Canada, check out our friends at StadiumScene.tv. They have information on where to park, what food and bars are in the area, what to do around the stadium, what events are happening in the area, and all other good stuff, such as what, Matthew?
Well, they also partner with content creators like ourselves and offer you things like podcasts, what this is, YouTube videos, what also this is, and blogs. And it's not just soccer; it's all sports North America. So again, check them out at stadiumscene.tv.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Christian's Corner. It's going to be fun. It's going to be short. We're struggling here, but it's fine. It's going to be great. So, number one thing, Zola says that Kante is not a holding midfielder. He thinks he needs to be more involved in the attack. And Matt, I'll start with you here. What do you think about comments like that? Because to me, he seems like an obvious holding midfielder and is probably the best at it.
Well, last year he did play center mid because I think technically like Jorginho was the pivot role, but I think he can play either. With France, yeah,
pivot.
I just had to wait for you to get that one out, but for France, it's just all their other midfielders are so attacking. He kind of adopted that role, and with Leicester, he was able to play it, but I think he can play either. I don't know why you have to be labeled as one position or another. It seems like that's a very European thing, and it makes no sense. There's players that can play many positions. I don't know why you have to label somebody as one, but I can see him as a center mid. I can see him as a holding mid. It doesn't matter.
Okay. Dave, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm with Matt. I think he can be both. I don't think that he has to be one or the other. I think that even when he was playing with Leicester and France, he was a part of a double pivot, to be honest. He was, two center midfielders, double pivots, pivot. So, yeah, I mean, I think that he's been most effective as a defensive midfielder in a two defensive midfielder system. But I think he has the skills to get forward, and we saw that a bit last year where he got some goals for Chelsea. He played a couple dangerous passes. I think that, his interceptions and just his work rate are his strong suits, but he can get forward. He has good touches on the ball. He isn't going to play an incredibly incisive pass and just rip a thunderous shot from outside the box, but he has offensive qualities as well. So he can be, I think he can be both. Matt, you hit it on the head.
Wow, good job, Matt. You're doing a great job out here.
Thanks, you too.
All right. So, in my opinion, I think that he is a holding mid, and that's the position that he should be playing. I think he can play it further forward, but it makes him less effective. And he was, without a doubt, the best holding mid in the world when he was playing at Chelsea that first year, or maybe even two. I can't really remember how long he was there before Jorginho came in. But
1 year.
Okay. So, at Leicester, he was the reason he was one of probably two or three reasons that they won the title that year against all of the odds. And he went to Chelsea and they won the next year as well in the Premier League. And he is so good at just breaking up play and then getting the play started. He doesn't really need to be picking out the final balls and taking shots because his role on that team when he was the holding mid was just perfect for his skill set. So I'm just surprised that they're playing him further forward, even though I guess they're just trying to get their best players on the field at once. Maybe they should try and switch it up. I don't know. Does anyone have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, but I still think at the end of the day, he can do those things. And if Chelsea doesn't have, the player, and like Jorginho's still there, I don't know if he can play further up the pitch. And so I think that they're just trying to maximize the players that they have. So again, Kante may need to sacrifice a little bit of what makes him, the best that he could possibly be for the collective good. So I think that's what's going on here.
So back to the original question, I guess Zola says he is not a holding midfielder, though, in general. Do you agree with that?
No, because he's proven that as a part of a double holding midfielder role, he was at his best. So no, I will disagree with that.
Okay. Matt, do you think that he is not a holding mid, or do you think that he could just play multiple positions? Like,
he can play multiple positions. I'm not gonna.
I understand that.
Yeah, do
you think that holding mid is the most correct position for him?
No, I'm gonna say no because I don't see him every day in training. A lot of people do. Like, he's been playing a little bit forward. I trust him going forward. So let's just say center mid because he can do both.
Okay. Fair enough. Anyone else have anything else to add here?
No.
All right, let's move along. Pep Guardiola, talking about Rodri this week, said he has the hair of a central defensive midfielder. Those were the words that he spoke, because I think he's trying to say he's not flashy, he just does his business. And I don't know if it just came across in translation, but yeah, he said those words. What do you think about comments like that? I guess people's appearances in terms of their actual footballing ability. Dave.
Well, I get it. I get what he's trying to say. He's trying to say that he doesn't care about looking great. And, in the age of social media and a lot of players worried about their appearances, he's someone who, lunch pail and whatever boots or whatever the heck the expression is. He comes to work. He does the tough stuff. All he cares about is getting his job done. And he doesn't care about the other things.
Tough guy, huh?
Exactly. So I get what he's trying to say. And it sounds like it was just like a translational thing. So, yeah. I think it's a great point by Pep.
And then to just add on to the quote, it is, he doesn't have tattoos or earrings. His hair, he looks like a holding midfielder. A holding midfielder must be like this. Think about, I don't know why it says, think about the rest. I guess he meant of the team.
Or the holding midfielders in the world?
Yeah, I don't know. I think he meant of the team because it says it in parentheses, but he didn't actually say it. So, Matt, what do you think about this type of comment?
Well, I'm thinking about it. I feel like it's a little accurate. I'm thinking like all the best holding midfielders, whether it's Fernandinho or Kante or Busquets, all the ones that have Casemiro, Fabinho. They're all similar types of players and personalities. The one outlier I'm thinking of is probably Vidal for a lot of his career. I don't think he really fits that mold. Him and Nangolan. Is he even a holding mid at this point?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
He's further forward.
Yeah. So I just think, I don't think it's anything he's limiting him to, but I think it's appropriate. And I'll correct something Dave said. He doesn't look good. I think Rodri looks good. In case he's watching this, I don't want Dave to put you down.
I wasn't making a comment on him specifically. I was reiterating what Pep Guardiola was saying.
Yeah, you look great, Rodri.
Well, just in case he's watching, there you go. I really don't think it matters what you look like if you're playing your role and doing the job. That's all that really matters at the end of the day. But it does appear that a lot of the holding mids and calmer presence on the field are that way. And they don't have the tattoos, they don't have the piercings, they don't. And I don't know why, but the type of personalities usually are tied into those things, which is, not always accurate, but it seems to be.
Yeah, growing up, there was the idiom, I guess is the right way to say it, where people who had white cleats just had a natural target on their back, or nowadays it's just bright cleats. If you didn't have black cleats, you had to live up to that potential. If you were trying to draw attention to yourself, you then had to have flair and needed to step up. And I guess just from a holding center midfielder, their whole job is to just do the dirty work and not worry about, all of those flashy things. And I think that that's what Pep is trying to say here.
Got it. Matt, any comments on that?
No, but I know that's an older saying because now everybody wears bright cleats.
Yeah.
That's true.
But okay. End of comment.
All right. Good to know. So we're going to move on to my final topic here. I told you we're going to move through these as quick as possible. So last one here is going to be about Lukaku, now being with Inter Milan. He scored 4 goals on his preseason debut. So, that's pretty cool. It's mostly related to what Berbatov was saying, that he was unfairly treated by the media and the fans at United. And Berbatov said he kind of felt that way about himself when he was there as well. Do you think the United fans, Matt, I'll start with you, are being too harsh on Lukaku? And do you think the media was as well?
Well, yeah. People just kind of have their things about people in the media where they pick it and they label someone a certain way for an extended period of time. Lukaku was good at United. He wasn't great. I think just starting out his career on the pace he was on when he was scoring goals at 16 and all that, people expected him to be Ronaldo, but you're not going to be Ronaldo. Like, not everyone's going to be Ronaldo. He is having a great career. One person I'll relate this to. I mean, Sterling now is the one everyone wants to mention. But the other player on City is John Stones. For some reason, anytime he makes a mistake, they just I can't believe John. The media just freaks out. The announcers will point it out, and it's anybody else on the field can turn the ball over unless it's John Stones, and then they throw a fit. And I think it's the same way with Lukaku. If he has a bad touch, you're going to see it on Twitter. If he doesn't score his shot, you're going to see it on Twitter. And I think he's good. I don't think he's a top 5 striker. Probably not a top 5 striker, but he's good.
I mean, John Stones is the reason Liverpool didn't win the Premier League, so I don't know why City can be that harsh on him. Dave, what do you think about Lukaku's move, and do you think they were too harsh on him?
Yeah, so to Matt's point there, I think that there's different levels of expectation, right, that you hold people to in different standards, right? And so that's what Stones and Lukaku are being held to. I think that just media in general tends to be harsh, and in England specifically, I think they have some of the harshest media in the world. So I always have sympathy, more for players. I think that they need time to get embedded into a new team. He was at Manchester United for 1 season or 2? How long?
Lukaku?
Yeah, Lukaku.
At least 2.
At least 2? Okay. Time is blurring together for me, guys. And, it's tough to really keep everything on track.
Well, it's 10:35.
Yeah. Well, no, I just mean years. I'm not talking about just today.
We're getting real deep here, Dave.
Yeah.
This is Dave's deep dive.
Think about it, guys. What is time? All right. Anyways, I think that just Lukaku is still 26. It's crazy to think about, but he's still relatively on the young side or in the prime of his career. And I think that
I'm alive.
Yeah. I think he was also a player, and a lot of strikers are this way, that they thrive on positivity. And if he had more support, who knows what would have happened, for him at United or, from the media. And so for me, yes, I think that he was judged harshly. God, guys, I'm just stumbling over my words. Yeah, he was judged harshly. That's it. The end.
End of comment.
Yeah. So he scored 28 goals in 66 appearances. So, I mean, that's not great return, but it's not the worst return in the world. A lot of his appearances also were off the bench, specifically late on.
Yeah. He also didn't score against the higher up teams in the table as well. He had a reputation for scoring against the lower level teams, which, again.
Oh, okay.
Means something.
Yeah, it does mean something, but I think that he is very good. I think that he's probably a top 15 striker in the world. Well, he's definitely a top 15 striker in the world right now. And if you put him in the right system, he can be an elite striker. And that's really what I think they're trying to do in Serie A. I think Inter have a lot of talent around him that can give him the ability to either win a cross or just have those first-time finishes. I don't think he's the type of player who likes to get the ball at his feet and run at defenders and score goals. He is a poacher who wants to get the ball in the box and on a one-time finish score goals, which he's proven that he can do over the years. So I think this is a great move for him. I think he was unfairly treated by the United fans, but United play a specific style that really doesn't suit Lukaku, and I don't think he ever really should have gone there. So I mean, I don't really have much else to add on this other than do you think Berbatov was treated unfairly when he was at United?
I can't really remember, to be honest. I mean, nowadays, I think he's this cult hero for United. So I didn't realize that he even was treated unfairly.
I think he thinks he was. He said in his 3rd season, he started to feel loathed.
Okay. So he had time, which is what I was saying about Lukaku.
Lukaku only got 2 years.
What is a year, guys?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
360.
Okay, so that was fun.
Also, you know what I've been thinking about recently? Why are minutes and hours and seconds, why isn't it divided by tens? What's the 24-hour, the 60 thing? I just feel like when we all agreed on time, I've been thinking about this a lot. And since, you guys brought it up, I'm going to bring it up here. Why didn't they have some sort of metric system for time? That's what I was thinking about. So
what on earth is happening?
Well,
okay.
Do I respond to this, or how deep into this are we going?
We're not going deep.
Let's move past it.
We can talk about this later.
All right. Anyone who wants to talk about this, join me on Dave's discussion of time, a separate podcast I do.
He doesn't do that. Don't believe him. You can tweet at him at BT Soccer Pod, though, if you really want
Thank
to
you.
talk about it. All right, so anything else you want to add on Lukaku here?
Not on Lukaku.
No.
No? Anything else you want to talk about that's not time-related?
No. I mean,
you ruined
I
it.
talk about time.
I know. That's why I purposely said that. Okay, so that's enough of this. This is just the friggin' mess at the end here. So thanks for stopping by Christian's Corner. We'll be back with Dave's Domestic Dive right after this musical interlude.
Hey guys, this is Venice, and I've got a message from a friend of mine about my favorite podcast.
It's your boy, Flavor Flav in full effect. Check this out, everybody. I want y'all to go check out TJ.
What's good, everybody? TJ Johnson here from Voice from the Underground. I am the most handsome.
Big Has.
And I'm smoking my cigar, of course.
You know what I'm saying? The Dutch.
You pick me up in an Uber and a PT Cruiser, I'm calling Lyft.
Because they be fighting the power, talking about social issues, politics, you know what I'm saying?
And we're not even that good.
Right, we're terrible. Terrible. Tangents all over the place.
And not only that, but they be keeping it fun with the sports, music, comics, and movies too.
Am I allowed to talk?
I think no, not right now.
Shut up, colonizer!
You know what I'm saying? You on Twitter at VFU Podcast. So you can find them. So check 1, 2. This is Flavor Flav. Yeah, boy.
Okay, what Flav was trying to say is, check out Voice from the Underground on your favorite podcast network.
Voice from the Underground.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Dave's Domestic Dive. Short one for you this week. Only have 2 topics we're talking about. First up, U.S. Soccer recently hired lobbyists to talk to Congress and, I guess, act on their behalf in their battle with the U.S. women's national team on the whole equal pay situation. So, Christian, I'll start with you. What do you think about U.S. Soccer having this come out recently? You know, is this a good look for them, or do you think that this reflects poorly on them?
I think it's a good look. I mean,
I think it's a bad look.
You think it's a bad look?
I think it's a bad look. Lobbyists just oftentimes, I think, have the
I don't think I really know what that is.
have the connotation that you hire lobbyists to fight on your behalf because you're doing something wrong. Right, like big tobacco, firearms. And I know that's not always the case, and anyone who's watching who happens to be a lobbyist, I apologize for potentially insulting you. But I think the broader connotation of lobbyists is, all right, we're paying these people because we know what we're doing isn't the greatest, and so we need to have them fight for our behalf in Congress to get them to do the things that we want them to do. So that's just my connotation.
Isn't that why you hire like any type of lawyer or anything?
Potentially. I mean, not necessarily. People that are innocent still need lawyers. So, yeah, no, I don't think it's the exact same thing as a lawyer. This is someone who's
hiring somebody to
do
kind
something.
Of protect you.
To protect your interests, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
But
I mean, I feel like that makes sense. And yeah, okay, now that you're saying it that way, it is a bad look, but I feel like it's also it's understandable why they would do that. They have now an outside perspective, or not outside perspective, but an outside source that is going to be fighting for them, and they're not going to have to spend all of their time focusing on that. I think U.S. Soccer has a lot of different issues to work on right now, so they should have specific people that are focused on this. And it does look bad that they're not going to be spending most of their time focusing on this one specific issue, which I think needs to be addressed. But
I didn't do a good job of explaining what a lobbyist is.
I don't think you did.
Yeah, so I'm sorry. I thought, so a lobbyist is someone who U.S. Soccer hires to basically go to Congress and say, you don't need to worry about. You want to be on our side in this battle, rather than the women's soccer. Your headphones in the wrong ear right now, which I just realized. You want to be on our side in the battle for equal pay. And so they hired this person to go to Congress and fight on their behalf in the equal pay thing. So it's not like they're I don't know, neglecting this whole situation. They're hiring people to fight for them on their behalf. Matthew, what do you make of this situation? How do you think it reflects on U.S. soccer? Do you understand what a lobbyist is? Have I done a good job of explaining that?
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
Good job. But I don't. So this issue, because it's been going on for so long and there's no clear answer, I'm fine with them kind of doing it because they're different leagues, or just different entire entities, like the men and women, men's and women's, how they get their money. I don't understand why this isn't a FIFA issue. Or I know the payout's different, but until FIFA can accurately, say what each gender is going to get, the gender or sex. What's the political correct term in today's?
I think gender, right?
Gender.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What other group? However they want to go. Whatever group gets.
Not that. Definitely don't say that.
Okay, so yeah. So until that can be solved, because I've seen all this stuff on Twitter where it's like the women made more, the men made more, and they play different amounts of games. They get different per diems, but their per diem they get more days. So I don't do enough research about it, but people that do a lot of research still don't know about it. So I think hiring lobbyists kind of makes sense from there.
Yeah. No, it is a really convoluted issue. And again, numbers can be told, numbers can be twisted to tell any story that you want them to tell. And for me, again, I just have a negative connotation a lot of times that's associated with lobbyists. And so, again, I don't think it's a great look from U.S. soccer. Again, I think it might be the right business decision from them, but everything that they're doing just comes under a lot of scrutiny right now. And I don't think it's a great look from them. Christian, anything else you want to add on this?
No.
Matthew.
So to say, I'm just trying to problem solve. Do you think they should just get? No, because you have to be called up. I was thinking a salary, but you have to make the squad to get paid. Where they just had a set amount of, if you make a team, you make this much in a year. If you make this many camps, you get this much. If they just had that instead of per time, they had 3 levels or something like that.
Yeah. Maybe. So, I mean, the women's team kind of has a little bit of that, but the men's team is strictly based on a bonus payment system. And so, Matt, that kind of gets into what you're talking about and why this is so convoluted. It's that the men and the women, they don't have the same collective bargaining agreement. And I don't know if it really could be solved by having salaries for both teams, because it feels like the men's pool is a little bit more fluid than the women's pool, where the men's pool is constantly calling up different players, and the women's team definitely has a core that they're constantly calling up, and it's easier for them to have salaried players. And, I think ultimately the way that this all gets resolved is that the women move more towards the men's system of having, a bonus payment structure. And I think that they ultimately do approach equal pay, at least for, national team games, travel, all that stuff. I imagine per diem, I imagine all that comes even. And the prize payouts is where things are going to get really, really tricky. And that's where FIFA comes into play, where they don't have the same prize payouts from FIFA. And that's where things get super convoluted. But again, I've said what I wanted to say on the lobbyist issue. And quite frankly, Congress is in a similar situation, even to us, for people that, we follow the game intensely, and even we're still confused by all of this. So in actuality, U.S. soccer might be hiring lobbyists to just educate Congress on this issue, because I know they're chiming in, and I know the one politician came out and said Congress is going to cut off funding for U.S. soccer until they have equal pay and things like that. And so again, it might be the right decision to hire lobbyists, but it's just a communication issue from U.S. soccer in general to just get out in front of these stories and to just announce, hey, we're hiring lobbyists for this reason. And they can just do a better job overall of just communicating things up front to try to get in front of storms. And I think that they're constantly tripping over themselves. And so that's kind of my issue with this whole situation. Any other thoughts here, Christian? Matthew?
Does Congress fund the?
I don't remember the exact quote, but I swear to God, a congressman, came out and wanted to shut down U.S. soccer or something like that until there was equal pay. And
there shall be no soccer in America.
Yeah, I don't know if they can even do that. And actually, I think that's against FIFA laws. Government cannot get involved in federations, and you get kicked out of FIFA for doing that. So again, it was sort of a empty threat, but it was a threat nonetheless. And so again, this might all be related to the same issue. It's just U.S. Soccer not getting in front of these and communicating upfront what is happening and why. Anything else, Matt?
No.
Last thing I wanted to talk about, Wayne Rooney is leaving DC United at the end of the season to head to Derby County as a player manager. The rumors are his family wasn't settling into DC and they wanted to go back. Matthew, what do you make of Rooney making this decision, and how do you think it'll impact his team the rest of this season?
So I think it's fine for his, like, in terms of his career. He's only been DC for a year?
Yeah, he came last summer.
Yeah. So, I mean, he gave it a year. He's not settling down. I'm fine with him leaving. DC, I think, is going to struggle a little bit. And they're definitely going to struggle to replace him talent-wise. I know they were linked to Ozil. I don't know if that ever developed into anything or if that was just someone BSing a story.
Well, nothing has developed yet, but it's all pretty fresh.
Yeah. So, and they're probably going to be able to replace him. It's a big market, but I think for him going into management is probably good for him, ending his career in the championship. Yeah. So he's going to play another year in the championship, probably a good level for him going back to England where he's, England's all-time leading goal scorer and that kind of stuff. I think it's going to be better for him.
What do you think about players announcing that they're leaving the team mid-season and then they're leaving at the end of the season? What do you think about that?
So for him, I kind of understand. He's in America kind of he's doing the typical end of your career, just kind of the old-fashioned way of where you go. You kind of hang out in America when you're done playing over there, and then that's it. And they don't care too much about
fade into the distance.
Yeah, they don't really care too much about like our actual league. It's more of people are happy that these people are coming over. So I'm fine with it. But it sucks. Like if this were to happen over in like the Premier League, I think it would be a bigger deal.
Yeah, Christian's got the giggles. Christian, what do you think of this situation?
He said the old-fashioned way of going to America and just hanging out.
Yeah, very old-fashioned.
Okay, I think that it is very weird. I really hate when people announce that they're leaving mid-season. I understand why he's going back, and I think it probably is the right move for his career. Start to get your coaching badges, start to get prepared for management, because I think that's where his career is going to be heading. And Derby County is probably a good place for that. I think that they need somebody of his quality. They haven't been in the Premier League for, 13 years now? Something like that, 12 or 13 years. And that's their goal, is to start to be more competitive. They're around that playoff line every year, or they're in the playoff and lose out a lot. So I think having these additional players or having Rooney as a coach, it just adds that experience and the level of respect. So I think it's very important for him and his future. And if his family's not settled, I completely am more understanding of that. But I hope the best for him. I think that DC are going to struggle a lot without him. I think that he was the right person to lead them into their new stadium and kind of into the future there. But I think that when he leaves, they may have some struggles attracting some talent.
Yeah, I think that it can be very disruptive to have these situations happen. And DC specifically, they were really struggling at the beginning of last season. Wayne Rooney came, they opened up Audi Field, and that team completely changed. And then this year, they started off relatively strong, and they're really sort of struggling right now. I think that they did win tonight against the Galaxy, but they're in a really rough period of play. And to have him leaving at the end of the season, it doesn't feel like it's one of those, all right, everybody rally around Rooney, and then we'll send him off on a high note. It definitely feels like, he's leaving. Yeah, we need to get the hell out of here too. And so I think that that's where this doesn't feel the greatest because of the way DC's season is trending. So that's my only issue with that. It's not really anything he has done personally or anything really that I fault him for. It's just more the way that the season is trending and why, it doesn't really read great. Matthew, anything else you want to add?
No.
Christian?
No.
All right, let's get to a couple listener questions, and these came in live on YouTube while we were recording here. And so this was an interesting question that Matt Leffler brought up here, and so we wanted to throw it out there. And so he wanted to know if there's any food that you eat that's kind of associated with soccer, the way that we think of nachos and wings with American football. So, Christian, anything come to mind for you?
The one thing I was thinking of is like fish and chips is like a thing that I guess people eat, but I feel like
That's
most
more
of the games,
England.
but most of the
Pies.
games are being played in the morning here. So I actually feel like I go to like a bar and have like the American breakfast or like something brunch related. Maybe is what I would
maybe
say
an
is related.
artisanal French toast. Matthew, any food that you associated with watching soccer? And it doesn't have to be just English soccer. So you also go to like union games and things like that.
No.
But Matt, any food?
That I associate with like watching soccer is different because like I mean when you're younger the orange slices at your games, that's like a thing. Pretzels.
Capri Sun.
Maybe that's just a Philly thing, like the Philly soft pretzel. I don't know. Do people bring pretzels? Like, does anybody have kids?
Do they have pretzels in other places?
No, but they don't go. Does anybody have kids? They bring pretzels to their games. Is that a thing?
What are you talking
and
about?
the live listeners.
To you.
At halftime?
Yeah, or after the game. Yeah, you don't remember that you'd always get soft pretzels, like, or after high school?
No, we didn't do that. No.
Yeah, so maybe it was just me, but I'd say like
you associate pretzels with soccer.
Yeah, or orange slices.
All right, I'm more of the guy that likes to get like the sausage and peppers.
That's what I was just thinking for actual games.
Yeah, so that's the one thing that I like to eat, and that's only when I go to the stadium. If I'm home, I mean, I don't really associate.
Crab fries.
Yeah, I don't
tomato pie.
Yeah, tomato. I mean, yeah. But nothing specific that I associate with soccer. So if you have any foods or anything like that, let us know at BT Soccer Pod or leave a comment on the YouTube video. Also, Matt had a question about Pulisic. So Matt Leffler had a question. Should Pulisic have started, Matthew?
I mean, yeah, he should have. They would have won the game.
100%. Yeah,
100%.
without
Guaranteed.
a doubt. Yes. Christian, do you think Pulisic should have started?
Well, their starters didn't look good, so probably. That was just an abysmal showing from Chelsea, and I think that they should give him time to just get accustomed to the Premier League now because they're going to need some quality in there. That was very glaring.
Yeah, I didn't get to see the game, so I just saw the scoreline, and it didn't look great. Clearly they need to change things up, and yeah, I think that he should get an opportunity shortly. Matthew, anything else you want to add?
No.
Christian?
No.
What was our trivia question?
Our trivia question was how many clean sheets did Arsenal have last season on the road? Dave, I'll go to you first because Matt, I think, knows the
2.
answer. Okay. Matthew.
So I was literally reading the stat, and as this episode's gone, I forgot it, but I know it's somewhere between 0 and 2. I think. So I'm going to say 0 because Dave said 2. And I know they either match.
It's going to be 1.
It's going to be 1.
It is 1. And they had matched it this weekend.
Yep.
All right. Excellent trivia question. Hopefully you did better than Matt or I. If you liked what you heard here, please consider leaving us a review on iTunes. 5 stars and a written review helps us out so much. So please consider doing that. It only takes a minute or so of your time. Christian, can you tell people about our Slack
There's
channel?
60 minutes in an hour. I would love to tell people about our Slack channel. So on our Slack channel, you get to talk about a lot of different things. There's all these different channels, such as the top 5 European leagues, MLS, Liga MX, international soccer, transfer rumors, and there's a general category where you can just talk about anything you would like. So we've got a bunch of people who we've met through the podcast or are frequent listeners, and there's probably about 7 or 8 people who are active on there. But there are probably 40 to 50 people who are actually Slack now?
Yeah, we just met up with actually two of them. So Andrew Deal and Todd Lewis, we met up with at the Union game. So thank you guys for meeting up with us, and exchanged some stickers with the Free Kick Pod. Todd Lewis we've had on, and Drew has been on here a number of times. So it was great meeting up with you guys. Had a lot of fun today.
And they teamed up to try and take you down in cornhole.
But we prevailed. I prevailed.
This is a real bro. All right, so so if you want to get involved in Slack, you have to email us at bros.talking.soccer or tweet at us at btsoccerpod. Matthew, would you like to tell them about our website?
Yes, our website is www.brostalkingsoccer.com. There you can read just about us and our past lives and all our great accomplishments to this point. You can find past episodes, links to the YouTube videos, and also the store section where you can buy some of our merchandise. And there's also an Amazon store link where no additional cost to you. You do your typical Amazon shopping through there. Like I said, no additional cost. We just get a small percentage, really help support the show. We do have a great shirt that Christian and David are displaying right now. I was checking my tracking as this show was going on earlier, and mine will deliver by tomorrow. So next week I'll probably be wearing my Bros Talking Soccer shirt.
I'll be wearing mine as well.
I'll be wearing my red one.
Oh, nice. I forget what colors I got, if I'm being honest. But yeah, so I'm excited about that. So you should be excited too, or else.
Or else. And people can also buy us a shot. Matt, what is that?
So okay, I know it's $3, but when you say what is it, it's a little.
So
confusing.
people, if you would like to buy us a shot, you can buy us one shot. You can buy us 3 shots, 5, 6, 7, 8, as many shots as you want. No ongoing commitment. If you have $3, you want to send it our way. That would be amazing. You can buy us the shot, and it goes to help support the show, cover hosting costs, equipment, all of that fun stuff. We have a ton of fun doing this, but it does cost us money, and we would love it so much if you would help us out and support us by doing that. And you can find that on our website, brostalkingsoccer.com. I have brought this up in the past, but I wanted to continue to reiterate it. If you are a soccer fan and you have mobile app developing skills, I am working on a project. I've been working on it for a number of years, and I'm looking for a partner to help me out and to become a part of the project. It's called Fan Futsal. So if you or anyone you know has mobile app development skills and want to chat with me, I would love to do that. Send an email, bros.talking.soccer@gmail.com, or send us a tweet at btsoccerpod. Also, this upcoming week, I am traveling a bunch, and also we might be just changing up the way that we do this podcast, and we're going to go away from interviews for a little bit. I think we might have 1 or 2 over the next few weeks, but are going to be steering away from that. We're going to continue to do this podcast on Sundays, and are really going to spend some more time on our quick kick picks videos that we do on our YouTube channel. So just wanted to announce that. We've had some awesome interview guests, but we're going to just be steering away from that. So just wanted to let everyone know that. Christian, any final thoughts?
I don't really think so today, David.
Yeah. All right. Well, you've looked exceptionally interested, especially this back half of the podcast.
I'm really struggling right now.
Matthew, anything you want to say to listeners and viewers?
Thanks for being here. I love you all.
Thank you, everybody. We really appreciate you tuning in. Everyone that has talked to us on Slack and has tuned in and interacted with, on YouTube, and has tuned in and has interacted with us. We really appreciate that. Listeners and viewers, we really appreciate you. Have a great week. We'll be back at some point this week, probably next weekend, with another podcast. No interviews this week. Have a great week, and we will talk to you soon. See you, everybody.
Please don't ever do that again.
Very sunburned, Christian.
He just really tried to stick his finger in my mouth.
No, I was trying to just poke your cheeks. I was trying to poke your rosy cheeks, like your Santa Claus. Matt, are you ready to get into things?
Yes, and I am not wearing a Manchester United jersey.
Matt, I don't know why you feel the need to lie to people.
Christian? I honestly don't know what I'm talking about, so I guess let me pull this up real quick.
I thought mine was going to be quick, and then...
Yeah, it was 22 minutes.
Yeah, and then it wasn't.
Why did people agree that a minute was the length of time that it was, or a second?
My guess
why wouldn't they make it?
Because when they started making clocks and stuff, there's only a certain number of ticks to actually put on.
Because they made it that way.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't smoke, and I've been thinking about this a lot recently.
I drink. I drink to forget time. But do you want them to have a great week?
I don't know. I want everybody. Yeah, I just wanted to reiterate, great week as many times as possible. Apologies. Like I said, I'm in a complete brain
Dave
fog.
is so high right now.